Hello, it's another Monday, new week, new devlog. This is devlog 2.0, season 2, week 2. Last week, we basically worked on just a very basic starter first-person project to kind of just get back into the swing of Unreal Engine 5. This week, we're doing something different. We're actually starting a game this week. The game we're starting is Project Zero. That's its code name, I've determined. Basically, this new game, we have to do a lot for it. It's a whole game. Like, I want to be able to release this game on Steam and it be a game that you can download and play. So, in order to do that, there's a lot of stuff that we have to actually go in and actually work out in this game. First of all, this week, we have to create basically, not the entire GDD, the game design document, but most of it. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. We're going to make the game design document, gonna make all of that. Maybe I'll show you guys around the game design document. That could be a cool little devlog bit. It's Tuesday. Today, I'm basically going to show you what I have worked on so far. There's still more stuff I need to work on today, but I got a lot of work done in the game design document. And I just kind of want to go over the game design document a little bit more. Stuff that changed, stuff for the game, things like that. I don't know. We're just going to take a look at the game design document, go over it, and kind of showcase differences between this game design document and maybe something like Tag's game design document, because I took a look at it again, and it's fine. I can show it. Yeah, so I guess let's just get into it. So this is the game design document for Project Zero, and yeah, as you can see, compared to yesterday, I got a lot more done. Now let's get started about how I'm breaking this down. This project is simple. There's not tons of things I need to keep track of, tons of mechanics I need to keep track of. It's a relatively simple list of stuff that needs to get done and put into the game for the game to be good, right? And this is just a simpler version of a game design document that's meant to help me keep track of that, basically. And you know, no matter if you're a solo indie developer or even working with a huge team, having some kind of game design document, like something like Notion, even just a Google Doc. Like Notion is free, so it's better than a Google Doc. Definitely use Notion. Not sponsored. Would love to be sponsored, but not sponsored. It's just even better than like a notepad or a Google Doc, which Ethan and I used a Google Doc for a long time for Tag. So, but then we swapped over to Notion, and I'll show you that in a second. But yeah, so just even something super simple, like, and you can even make it fun. Like I have all these little like icons and emojis, and it makes everything look, you know, nice, I guess. And yeah, so here's how it's broken down. Over here under no status, we just have different things that will need to be in the game, and I just haven't written about it yet. Basically, anything unwritten sits over here. And then if I have started filling it out, it goes over here and not yet started. So these three categories will be kind of the stages of development for these mechanics and systems and stuff. And so not yet started means I haven't started working on developing them yet. And if they're work in progress, it means I am working on developing them. And then completed means that those mechanics are done. Let's just hop over the status effects one real quick. Say you get lit on fire. Like, right, we shoot a fireball and you get hit, you should be set on fire. And so burning is a status effect we have, and you'll receive 3 damage for 5 seconds. And instead of building every weapon, do that if it's part of the weapon. It should just be a Boolean variable. Basically a true or false statement, like check if they are or aren't, right? And if they are, then just set burning to true. And we'll do that with all the status effects. So if any weapons want to do multiple stat effects, one type of stat effect, something like that, even with like AoE spells and just with anything, it'll be so easy to kind of get those integrations in once we have a status effect system. Yeah, there's a few other things in the game, like I want spells to be able to interact with each other. Like if you set down a flame wall and you shoot a wind spell at it, the wind spell should disintegrate it, water should extinguish it, kind of things like that. Kind of taking from the game Spellbreak that is no longer a game anymore because they closed servers and no one played it. Which, you know, maybe shouldn't make a game that went after a game that fails, but you know, I feel like this will be better. Maybe we'll see. So we have just a bunch of different status effects, and we're going to be implementing all these into the game with the health system hopefully next week. It might take 3 weeks. That's why in our project timeline I only have this week and next week, because I don't know if I'll be able to complete everything in week 2. the health and mana system, let's go over this. Health will either be 100 or 150, depending on the time to kill. Right now, I think I'm leaning for 150 because just a little bit more health, so you don't get completely one shot by everything, but time to kill will probably be very quick, depending if you land your shots on different types of weaponry. Mana is going to be the ammo system for the game, right? You'll have a bar that'll go from like 0 to 100. I don't know if they'll say the numbers or not. It'll probably look better if it doesn't, but for tactical and strategy, it might need it. So we'll see what I do there. And each weapon, each relic, each weapon itself will have a certain projectile count. And when you reload your weapon, you'll use some of your mana bar per bullet reloaded, right? So you have 4 shots and it takes 25 per. Basically, a full mana bar will be depleted once you refill all those projectiles, right? The thing is, there's not going to be like ammo packs or ammo pickups in the game, right? Because what will happen is you'll just recharge mana over time. So using bigger, heavier hitting damage, weapons, and spells and stuff like that will use more of your mana, and it'll add a lot more strategy to the game. In this game, I was leaning for more fast-paced kind of style, but I think adding in more elements of strategy is actually going to make it much more complex and a much more fun game, much more viable. Each weapon will have different mana costs per bullets, and bullets I think in this game we'll be calling spell slots, but just to easily refer to it, it's bullets. But your magazine, I guess, will be your spell slots, and then you'll fire spells, right? And reloading will be called refilling, since you're not loading anything, you're refilling the mana of your weapon. I feel like it just makes sense. And then refilling manas will dispel any previous projectiles that will be flying through the air, right? This is a work in progress idea because I don't know if I'll actually be able to create it, but ideally, since most things will be projectiles, like hit scan magic doesn't seem like, it seems really strong. If I'm being honest, it'd have to be weak, but hit scan magic just doesn't seem correct. So most of them will be projectiles. There can be pretty fast projectiles, but like they'll be projectiles nonetheless. So say you throw out a big projectile and it's like a big orb of electricity or something, just spitballing here, big orb of electricity, and it shoots out. If you decide to refill your mana, it'll dispel the spell. It'll do whatever. It'll activate it or deactivate it. Kind of things like that. So if you use out all your mana, like you send out all your shots of like a big super like strong ability, you send out all of your ammo, if you try refilling it, it'll dispel it. And I think that's a strategic kind of thing, because you'll have to swap to your secondary or just wait a second. I think that's a system I like, and I think it could add a decent amount of strategy to the game. And then I added a bunch of different types of weapon systems. Obviously, we have the relic system, which is our main kind of system, and I have 1 to 2 spells for each, and they're just these toggleable headers. Like, so for wands, you're gonna have a wand called Electric Slashes. Don't know if I'll change it, but lets you cast out slashes of electric energy that form into curved electric blades. The spell can be cast 7 times before refilling mana, and if you hit all 7 shots in the enemy, they will receive the gashed status effect, and the slashes are mid to small size and relatively fast projectiles. And then, so for staves, let's do this one, Electric Crescent. This really shows like the main difference between wands and staves. Wands will be more spells, less damage spells, and faster spells, I feel like. But for Electric Crescent, you'll hold to charge your staff with electricity. Letting go, you'll shoot like a large wave of electric energy on like a random axis. So if we're saying axes like this, like your wave can come out like this, it can come out like on a diagonal, vertical, just a different kind of like axes, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. But when you play it in game, it's because I just don't want like a line. I think it'd be way cooler if you used all 3 of the spells to go like line, and add like room for dodging or something between spells. Now the difference between this and the last one, obviously the projectiles are bigger, but if you hit the enemy even once with these slow moving projectiles, they'll receive the gashed status effect. But they're slow and they're large in size, so kind of easy to dodge, but like, or block with something. That's kind of the idea. But if you hit someone, it'll be really strong. Grimoires will be powerful close range spells. Darksteel Grimoire, I'm gonna keep this a secret for now. Give your best guess in the comment below what you think this this one will be. And I haven't made any other ones, but it'd be like a Book of Fire. You like grab out spells and you like, it's like a shotgun like blast of like fire or something. Just picture it like a shotgun, basically. That's really all there is to that. Then we have the enchant system, not really done yet, not sure what we're doing there. Enchants will be added much more towards the end of the game, the development process, just because I need all the weapons first, and then I'll see what I can make out of all of them. So we're not going to worry about that for now. Tactical spells / scrolls. These are a replacement for grenades. You'll be able to carry 3 scrolls on your belt, and you'll be able to mix different ones or have all the same ones, up to you. When you take out a scroll, you'll see the trajectory for the spell, and when you click on your scroll, it'll roll open, just like you throw up your spell, it'll roll open, and then it'll like burn, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. all scrolls are AoE spells. I don't know about that. Scrolls might get changed, so there's other actually cool stuff. And scrolls don't get enchants. Pause and read if you want if you want to see any of those, and read the rest of those. They're all work in progress. Don't act like these are all going to be in the game, because who knows if I can even make them, huh? Anyways, we're also going to have an ultimate system. I'm going to call these cantrips. Kind of stealing from D&D, yes, but it's also a work in progress system. Who knows if I'll add it, but just in case. And cantrips will replace ultimates. Ultimates have become common in most FPS games, so cantrips will replace those, and they'll also replace kill streaks in FPS games. And because of that, there's a few different types of cantrips. There's time-based, there's performance-based, and there's kill streak-based, right? Pretty self-explanatory. I mean, you can pause and read these if you'd like, but basically timer-based will be once you use your ability, there's just a timer cooldown, and you won't be able to use the cantrip again until the timer's done. Performance-based can be doing anything, shooting a certain amount of spells, doing this. It'll all go towards your cantrip charge and charge it up over time depending what you do. For example, kill streaks will be a certain amount of consecutive kills in a row without dying will unlock that cantrip for you. Like for Decaying Grasp, it's 15 to 20 for the kill streak, and if you get it, then you can use that cantrip. So cantrips will be divided into 3 categories and will be based off those categories, I guess, which can mix up what your goals might be in game. Do you want to go for most amount of kills before dying? Do you want to go with performance-based stuff, like you'll just get cantrips for doing things, or do you want it on a specific cooldown, specific timer, right? It'll all just be different forms of strategies, and there'll probably become lots of metas from it, which seems cool. Other than that, that's kind of everything. I haven't touched maps. Maybe I added to menu screens. You know, you can pause and take a look at those if you want. Those are basically for me, that way I know kind of what screens I do want to make, and there might be more later, but just to get a rough idea, and then also some game mode stuff. So that's kind of all I got done. To be fair, it's a lot of stuff like I got done. Game design document. Actually, let me show you. Here's one for tag. This is our tag game design document, and you can see it all here. There's a lot of stuff here. There's lots of different variations. I'm not going to go through and explain everything to you, but just so you can see, every one of these selections has a ton of stuff in here. You'll basically break down the entirety of your game in your gameplay documentation. That's kind of what tags looks like. It's a lot of in-depth details about just any and everything, which if you're planning to have like a team, it's really good to have any and everything planned out. That way someone can read through it and just understand everything about your game. So that's all I got for today. I will be working on movement later, but I probably won't update you on any of the movement I've done until tomorrow. So for today, see ya.